Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's live conversation with one of our amazing speakers from the Women Thrive Summit. Today, I have Hannah joining us for today's conversation, and we are speaking on how to be seen in your industry as the go to expert in your niche. Hi, Hannah, where are you joining us from today?
Thank you so much, Raimonda. Hi, everyone. I'm joining you from Malta.
Yay, amazing. Well, today's conversation I know is really important because I actually have a lot of people in our audience who say, how do I stand out? The online world seems to be so busy and I have all this experience, but how do I really put myself forward and be seen as the industry expert? And I know Hannah has a lot of experience in business strategy mindsets and helping other brands to be visible. So, if you haven't met Hannah yet, I'm excited to introduce you Hannah Cremona, who's a strategist and business mentor. So, she helps coaches, healers, and business owners build a profitable and sustainable business by empowering them with effective strategies and mindset tools to grow their businesses. So, Hannah has over 15 years of experience from launching international brands in new markets to leading startups into a launch, and she has developed her own natural and strategic leadership skills that she now helps share with others. Hannah, why are we talking about this subject? Why is it so important that we actually talk about how to be seen as the industry leader in what you do?
Thank you for that introduction, first of all. And I think this is really important because, first of all, the the profession as a coach, the profession as a coach, as a guide, as a healer is so profound, it's so impactful, it's so transformational. And I have seen so many qualified, experienced professionals come into the online space with the passion and the drive and the mission to serve others, right? Yet they get really disappointed because they feel like they're lost in the sea of people, in the chaos and the noise. And what we want to do is really stand out and bring that message, bring your work in front of your clients so that you can make that impact. um, so yeah, it's about standing out. People come to me and say, but the market is so congested, it's so saturated, and will I even make enough money, or will I ever be able to find a client in this mess, in this chaos? And my answer is yes, if you dare to be unique, if you dare to be you. Yes, the market is congested and saturated with everyone doing the same thing. Do something different.
And that's exactly why we're talking about standing out, right? Because yes, the market is busy. And I guess the biggest pain point and the struggle is, how do I become different? How do I stand out and be unique? So, what would you say to someone who's actually struggling to find their uniqueness in this environment, in this online space? Where would they start to find their magic?
It starts within.
I love that. Like there, right there.
It's an inside out approach. It's an inside out approach. So this is where people like sort of miss that part, because they want to say, okay, I really want to have authentic, effective marketing and content creation and all of that stuff. But what is driving that stuff, which by the way is the tip, literally the tip of the iceberg? What is driving all of that we see on the outside? The content creation, the branding, the visuals, the aesthetics, the messaging. That's all coming from deep work and reflection. It is an embodiment of who you are, what you stand for, what you believe in. It's a integration of your experiences, your skills, your strengths, your failures, your pitfalls, all of the lessons that you combine. This is what is gonna bring you up and stand out at the top. This is what's gonna get your message to stop the scroll, technically.
Yeah. What has helped you in your journey? And I guess, that made you realize that, what, I'm ready to step out and be different. Because I know you were initially working in your family business for quite a while, and there was a big, brave, and bold move that you made to start your own. What was that transition like, and how did you find your uniqueness about yourself?
So there were two major transitions and like leaps of faith, as you would say. The first one was actually leaving the family business where I had been for over 8 years, building international brands, launching them in Malta from various types, mostly in the healthcare and skincare industries. Um, I decided to hit the reset button on life, and I'm not saying that this is the best idea for everyone, but I really had no plan. I really had no idea where I was going and what I was doing. But what happened later on is, as I came back into the working world, because I spent 2 years actually living in the hills in Nepal, volunteering and setting up micro enterprises, social enterprises there, and women empowerment projects. So when I came back into the online world, I started doing a lot of freelance work, and I was successfully booked out. Right, I was successfully booked out. However, I was I I I came to a I hit a ceiling. I couldn't grow. I was booked out with no scalability, right? And I thought, well, this is not sustainable. I was getting back into old habits of burnout and overworking myself and overgiving myself for pittance, for peanuts. Um, and so this for me was a big wake up call, because I left the corporate world because of that burnout, because of feeling unfulfilled, because of that feeling of giving too much. And when I had this realization that it was happening all over again, that I'm going through the cycle again, I realized, hey, I'm doing a lot of great work. Yes, I'm good at my job. Yes, same like what happened a few years ago. I was great at my job. I was doing well. I was climbing the corporate ladder. But I was unfulfilled and I was unsatisfied. Why? I was not working from my zone of genius. I was working from, yes, in my competencies. Yes, I was doing marketing, social media management, a little bit of strategy, a little bit of coaching, a little bit of consulting. But that's where I really wanted to be. The stuff I was doing a little bit of was where I really wanted to be standing. It was where I really wanted to be sitting. I wanted to be sitting at that table where I was making a direct impact and transformation in people's lives. And that was bloody scary for me to actually own up to it and take that move and move away from selling my time for peanuts to actually starting to create impact and profits, not only for me, but for the people I worked with.
Wow. And I think, that's something profound about this story. One is that you've taken that leap of faith and you trusted that the knowledge and the experience that you developed, you're actually able to apply not only in the safe environment of, your family business, but also build a successful business and also social enterprise of your own and pursue your own goals and dreams. But then that moment of realizing your expertise is valuable. And I think this is what a lot of people don't get, that when we're too much of generalists, we're too much of the same of everybody else, we don't stand out. And for that reason, we undercharge ourselves, undervalue ourselves, and we're not able to charge premium prices because we want to do everything, but we don't want to niche ourselves down to that particular one thing that you could be known for. What's your tips for someone being scared to niche down and find their one thing that they're really good at?
So, on one hand, the finding what you're really good at, finding out what your zone of genius is, because for me, I really struggled with this. I really struggled to find my zone of genius. And I think it was through a lot of healing and mindset work that I was able to move forward with that and actually come to where I am today. Because there's a great deal of self-belief, self-trust, and self-confidence that comes in understanding your zone of genius and actually, standing in that, being able to embody that and say, this is where I'm at. This is why you hire me.
I love
And
that.
a really good exercise that I've done was to make a list of what are the things that I'm good at. What are my skills, my competencies, what I'm good at. And that was for me, for example, all of the marketing stuff, the social media management, the content creation, da 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 da. And what is my zone of genius? And that took me a really long time to fit in. But my zone of genius for me was the why people would come to me. it wasn't necessarily in a professional setting, but that tend to happen as well in a professional setting. But also, people used to come to me for brainstorming, for me to validate the ideas, for me to bring their vague ideas into an actionable plan. That's why people always came to me. I said, wait a second, I'm not operating from my zone of genius. I'm doing all of these marketing courses and how to create the content and how to use social media, da 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 da, which is great, fine, okay, and it's serving people, and I'm good at it. But there are so many other people who are also good at doing that. And so I was just playing in an ocean full of other coaches and marketing gurus and marketing teachers. But where the money is, where the profits are, where the impact is, first and foremost, and most importantly, was in that mentorship and coaching, where people really come to me and have that personalized experience. So do that exercise for those of you who are listening, and for those of you who are feeling like, I don't know what my zone of genius is. Do that exercise, put down, make a list. These are my competencies, and then really question yourself and ask your friends, like, what is it that you would come to me for? And
I love
in
that.
that, you will find the hint.
Mm. I hear this over and over again, genuinely from people. It's like, how do I find my niche? And sometimes, even when we find our niche, sometimes we feel like a little bit of an imposter because a lot of the times the things that we're really good at come so easy, right? It comes so, so easy. But the truth is, it's like when you embrace that, when you embrace that part of that you're really good at, you find really easy, that becomes, as I say, your zone of genius that you become known for.
That's really important that you said that, actually, because I feel the reasons why I was experiencing burnout, be it in my free when I had a freelance business, basically in the gig economy, and be it in my previous career, which I call my previous life. On both occasions, I was experiencing constant burnout. I was constantly living at that edge of burnout, um, and this was it. I was not operating from that zone of genius. I wasn't in flow. And in fact, there's people say, no, money goes through the path of least resistance, right? So if we're operating from our zone of genius, then there is more flow. It doesn't matter how many hours you're going to spend in your business, because it's enjoyable, it's pleasurable, it expands you, it even energizes you.
Yeah.
And that's where the profit and the impact and the transformation will happen.
Yeah. And over time, people will get to know you and be willing to pay your premium prices because you stepped into your zone of genius. And I think also the thing and the reason why we feel sometimes imposter of stepping into our purpose and our mission is because the very same things that you want to help other people with, you struggled with yourself the most and found a way to overcome it. And that's where your passion comes from, right? Because that's why sometimes it can feel like I'm being an imposter because I struggle with this too. But that's why you really get it. That's why you really understand what it's like to take years to find your zone of genius, to find a strategy, because you have had to overcome that yourself. And now you're able to lead others through the same steps that you have had to take.
100%. And that imposter syndrome was very real for me. That was very real for me. Um, and I think with all the clients I meet who experience this as well,
Mm.
who experience and say, "Oh, I'm feeling like an imposter, and who am I to stand up there, or who am I to go and do that? Who am I to come on a live with Raymonda? Who's the founder of Women Thrive Media? Holy shit!" Like, I would think like that in the past, right? When I have clients who come to me with that, I know that they're genuine. It's not because they're not good enough. It's not because they're not qualified enough. Because when I ask them to list down all of their qualifications, when I ask them to list down all of their experiences, when I ask them to list down all of their celebrations and wins, no matter how small, how big, they're qualified, they're experienced. They have every right to be standing tall and sitting in that table at that table.
I love it.
But because we expect so much of ourselves, and we want to give the best, and we have a very high standard, I feel like sometimes that's when the imposter comes in the most.
Oh my God, you said it. And okay, I want to ask for you listening in the live right now, have you ever, if you ever experienced imposter syndrome, even though you deep down, you've been through the qualifications, you've been through the studies, or whatever process you had to get through, put a one in the chat if you ever felt like an imposter, because I raised my hand to it. I felt like it, right? Totally. Even when other people see you as an expert, sometimes we don't accept our role in it. And I think this is where the leadership part comes in, of saying, okay, I have to step into the shoes of becoming an expert. And I think this is where another part of becoming the industry leader, right, comes into play, because you have to be willing to accept your roles and step into the shoes of a leader. What's your take on it, Hannah?
It's funny, a lot of these topics were coming up in our recent discussion. I did a live podcast with Alex as well, one of our fellow speakers at the summit, and we both agreed that you need to become the person, visualize yourself, be the leader. How does your higher self, how does your best, the best version of you, who doesn't have the imposter syndrome, how does she stand, how does she behave, how does she talk, what is she doing, what work is she doing, how is she running her business, what kind of clients is she working with? Become her. A lot of the time, and this is what I did really badly, I went down the rabbit hole of doing all of the things, all of the unnecessary crap, excuse my French, all of this other stuff that I thought I needed to do to somehow prove to someone, to prove what, to who, I don't know, to eventually have the things to become the person, or to be seen, or to be recognized. It's all ass backwards. You become the person who does the things as an expert, as a leader, as an authority. And then you will have the results. The results will come.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, today we're talking about how to be seen in your industry as an expert, but it's so much more than just, as in building the front of your brand and just being seen. It's so much more than that. And as we started today's conversation, it comes from within. And the truth is, you already have, right? You already have what it is that you're trying to do. You already have the skills. You already have the knowledge. But this part is about stepping into the shoes of your leadership, stepping into this persona and really leading, because look, this world is rough out there, right? People might say horrible things. People might say, well, how you're an expert. And you might see other people who seem more qualified and further ahead of you. And if you allow that to tear you down, or you're going to allow that to get in the way of your own greatness, of making impact and doing the purpose work, that means you're not embodying what it is that you truly do, and you're not stepping into the leadership shoes yet. So there's work to be done.
Two things I really want to touch on what you just said. Thank you for prompting me there. First of all, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. The marketing that we see on the outside, the branding, the front, in fact, it's a
Mm,
front. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
mm.
We're forgetting that everything that's the tip of the iceberg is being fueled from within. That's your branding, that's your personality, that's your values, right? We spoke about this. The second thing is, yes, there are always going to be people who are more certified, more qualified, more experienced than you. Like, that is a fact. And having said that, there are also many others who are less qualified, less experienced than you, who do not have the same skill set, who do not have the same experience and trials and tribulations and lessons that you have. Except what they do have is the confidence to put themselves out there, pump up their chests, and attract their clients and run their business. They're the ones making impact, and if they're making impact, definitely having a business and getting money, having the profits. And you're here, and maybe you're struggling with that. And that's the only difference, is that they dare to stand out and stand up.
And perhaps right now you're thinking, why am I still here, wondering what my niche is? wondering, how do I step into those shoes? Wondering, how do I become seen as the expert? Because truth is, you deserve to step into the spotlight. You deserve to have a successful business. You have something unique about you that nobody else has, and your community, your audience, your clients, your future clients need you and waiting for you to step into your purpose and your powerful shoes. I'm reading your message, Nicola, who's watching us live. Good to see you, Nicola. I'm still struggling with step into who I am currently. Again, ill again, and it's discouraging me. And I keep telling myself, how do I step into who I am? How do I step into
I think we've lost Ray, or I'm lost.
I'm so sorry. My internet dropped out for a second.
Okay. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I was like, oh my goodness, what's happening?
It's okay.
So,
Sorry, it was me. But thank you for Nicola for that comment. Yeah. How can you be a holistic coach and always
ew.
yeah,
So here's the thing. It's what this is exactly what we've been speaking about. The very same things. The reason why you feel passionate, um, the reason why you feel passionate about the work that you're doing is because you know what it's like to struggle. You know what it's like to be in the shoes of a woman who has struggled with her health, right? In Nicola's case, or for someone who's struggling to find the way forward, but you found a way forward. You have found approaches in your life that has worked for you. So that's exactly what I've been speaking on about, that imposter syndrome, when you know you're the expert because you've learned a way to navigate it, right? Hannah, I know we kind of short, a little bit short on time now, but I know you're doing a special presentation at the Women Thrive Summit, which on the day that we're actually talking about business strategy, marketing strategies. So tell me a little bit more about your talk at the upcoming Women Thrive Summit.
thank you. So my talk is really an invitation to help you stand out in your marketing and in your business. It's an invitation, and let's call it, let's give it a permission, right? Because a lot of us are unconsciously seeking permission and validation to sit at the big table. We're waiting for someone to kind of pull us in and come and sit on the chair. Like, no, this is, and we're inviting you to have that self-confidence, even though it's scary, to have that self-belief, even though maybe you're not quite sure how it's going to work out, right? To really understand where is your zone of genius, to understand what lessons and experiences you have that are going to stand out.
Mm.
So this, I'm really excited to bring that into the space.
Yeah, and so the talk that Hannah will be delivering is why fit in when you are made to stand out. And I know many of you craving to make the impact, craving to really step into your purpose, step into your shoes, step into that leadership, and stop trying to fit in, stop trying to self sabotage yourself of your own greatness. Because as we spoke today, your audience, your clients, your tribe are waiting, just waiting for you to start serving them. And this is where magic and transformation starts to happen. So, for those of you who don't know what Women Thrive is, Women Thrive Summit is our annual women empowerment event. This is a 1 week long event. And this year we have more than 50 amazing experts, speakers from all around the world, experts in their own industries, and wealth of knowledge that they bring in, decades of knowledge. And guess what? Women Thrive Summit is accessible worldwide. You can access it from anywhere in the world, and it's free of charge. The only thing I ask you watching this right now is to make a commitment to yourself. Make a commitment to be there. So sign up to womenthrivesummit.com. Be there, bring a friend along. During this week of the summit, you'll get to work on things like finding your passion, finding your purpose, finding your confidence, building your business success, marketing tools, branding that Hannah is also talking about, right? I mean, this 1 week could be a life changing event for you. And you don't have to attend all the talks all at once. If you want, you can upgrade your ticket and have access to the replays afterwards. This is our opportunity to help you along the way, and you don't know what you could find. This might be one nugget of inspiration. This could be a bit of knowledge that could help you take your business to that next level. Maybe it's just self-belief that you currently need to elevate everything you're doing. And this time next year, you'll be in a completely different position where you are today. You could be actually stepping on our stage and saying, I'm ready to come and speak as well. Hannah, what are you excited about for this event?
There's so many things I'm excited about. I mean, first of all, to be sharing the virtual stage with so many amazing women. We're celebrating, and we're honoring International Women's Day right yesterday, and Women History Month. It's such an honor, really, to be amongst the 40 speakers of the summit. I'm super excited to engage and to have a discussion. Really, yes, I'm delivering a talk, but I want it to be a discussion. I want to really feel into each other and support one another on this journey. Because, as I said, yes, marketing is something you can learn. Marketing is the tip of the iceberg, but the real true essence of who you are and how you're going to create an impact in this world, that comes from you. That is something that people can't teach you. You can go and Google stuff and YouTube stuff, and you can take marketing courses, but the real answers, the real true answers, are from within you. And I'm sure you're gonna find a lot of amazing, um, empowering talks and inspiration and activation in this journey in the summit.
You know what has been my highlight so far? And for those of you who don't know, it takes 6 months to produce this event. And behind the scenes, I work very closely to every speaker. We work in a group environment. We talk about the production of the events, the topics that we're going to be delivering during the summit. And my highlight has been seeing the speakers really shine through the journey, bring their own knowledge, experience, inspiration, doing collaboration between each other. And when we interviewed all the speakers before the summit, I asked each and every one of you, and I said, why are you here, right? Why do you want to be part of this summit? And all of you, more or less, in united voice said, I'm just here to make impact. And for me, this is what this event really represents. I mean, we do this free access event, right? Whole 5 days live. There's a huge amount of production that happens behind the scenes. And the amount of energy that everyone inputs into this event is for that reason, to make an impact, to make a difference in somebody's lives. So if you attend just one talk that perhaps will change your life, maybe inspire you, maybe give you some tools that you didn't have before to one, either become a better person, become a better leader, grow more successful business, start to believe in yourself, that for me is success. And Hannah, I thank you for your contribution. I know during this lead up time, you had a little baby and you continue to stay really supportive and engaged throughout the process. So, as a woman, I want to celebrate your strength, your commitment, your leadership, and being able to do it all, right? Have a little baby in the process of leading up to this event and still show up like a leader that you are.
Thank you. It was a roller coaster. I must admit, it was not easy. For those of you who may think, oh, she did it in a breeze, or you only see my highlight reel on social media. I just let you know. Thank you, Nicola. I let you know that it took a lot of dedication and commitment, of course.
Yeah. And that's a level
Amazing.
of dedication. That's a level of dedication that our speakers bring, our production team brings, and that's a level of dedication I want you watching this right now to have to yourself, right? To your business, to your journey. Don't ever give up on your dreams. Don't ever give up on that vision. You might go through struggles. We've cried with Hannah in some of these calls because, things just get emotional a little bit, right?
Very much.
So it's been a journey. I know we want to take you on the next part of the journey to be part of this event, save your spot for it, and be there because the connections we've built behind the scenes, we now want to build it with you. So hopefully you'll find your own friends, acquaintances, and people perhaps that you want to work with or be inspired by on this journey. Hannah, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Ray. Thank you. Have a
How
beautiful
do
day.
people get in touch with you, by the way?
Oh, luckily there aren't too many people with my name, my full name. So you can find me Hannah Cremona on Facebook and LinkedIn, and at Han Cremona on Instagram.
Beautiful, beautiful. So make sure you head over and connect with Hannah across social media channels. Give her a shout out. Attend the Women Thrive Summit happening 20th to 24th of March. It is going to be an epic event. And I look forward for you making all the connections and start to transform your life. Thank you, Hannah. Appreciate it. And thank you all for watching today.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.